Yeah, you are
We're
such a
handing
treasure. If you are listening to us, it means that you have tuned in to a broadcast all the way from Stockholm in Sweden. My name is Theophilus van Rensburg Linster. Next to me is my partner in crime, good crime. Good crime, I mean.
Thank you.
Sven Isaksson, we together broadcast here every single Wednesday evening, and we broadcast in support of a vocational training in agriculture project in South Africa. We're about 10,500 kilometers away from where we actually do most of our work. And so we appreciate it that you are spending your time with us. And this evening we have a special guest, and we'll tell you a little bit more about him in just a moment. Sven, the weather's gotten a little bit better.
Yeah, depends on how you see it. It's actually it's interesting. It's not as cold, but it's kind of grayish, but it's still not as cold.
Yeah.
I heard from Canada it was like below 26,
Minus
but
26.
they have snow. So
Okay, then it's not so dark and it feels a little bit better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the way how we. But we're all good here. Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing we can do about the
No,
weather.
no,
You know, my father used to say,
Yeah.
my son, take the weather with you wherever you go. But my dad's never been to Sweden. So, you know, it's hard for me something like that to deal with. But we have a special guest with us, and I'm going to bring him on right away. Is he with us? Oh, I think we've lost him. He's going to be back shortly, I am sure. Yeah, we've lost Durban.
Wow.
No, what did he say? He's in East London. East London, is that where he said he was? So we have a special guest this evening. For those of you who are joining us, you are tuned into a vocational training in agriculture broadcast all the way from Stockholm. And the focus of our vocational training is largely in 3 rural communities at the moment in South Africa. I don't call these under-resourced communities as some people, refer to these communities. They're high-stakes communities, but they're definitely not under-resourced. Sven, we have talked quite a lot about the concept of forget about what you don't have. Start focusing on what you've got.
Yeah.
We can't say enough about that, right? It's important that people in communities, doesn't matter how you are described by everybody else.
No, it's how we actually talked about that. Quite interesting. It's how you describe yourself. You can set the label, and we had this interesting talk, and we got excited because we are talking to farmers.
Yeah.
You know, it's not wow, and then it's game on, and we will try to help and bounce ideas. But you are the farmer, you are the expert, and it's the same as if you're playing guitar. You are the guitar player. It doesn't matter where you're on the scale.
Right.
You know, but you can define yourself by that role, and will set you on a path.
Right.
No matter what, and that's key. That's key. You know, in education and training too. It's like we are talking to the people that want the knowledge, and we want to set the setup for them.
Right.
And then they will take it, and then we're there with them.
I have seen that so often that we are so prone to think of ourselves more in terms of how other people describe us than ourselves, how we view ourselves.
Yeah.
Now, this is not just in rural communities.
No,
but
it's everywhere.
It's
everywhere.
problem.
Or what we want to be, but we aren't. So you're already cutting yourself down, and it's universal. It's
Right.
universal, but it's very, very powerful. Even every word, everything you do, but it's kind of up to you. So that's the cool thing, and we all need to be reminded of that. You know.
Absolutely. And I think it's a valuable point you are making. We have our guest back all the way from South Africa, Luvo Gugwana. Can you hear us, buddy? let's see. We're trying to get hold of Luvo. He sits in the Eastern Cape. He's
Yeah.
not too far. He's not too far from where Andre De Long is at the
No.
moment.
Yes.
So
And we had a really good connection before, so
yeah, that's right.
we had a great setup, you
It's
know.
always like that, isn't it? When
Yeah,
you
it's part
set
of the
things up, connection is
technology.
fantastic, and then when when you're trying it out, um, he's gonna probably get back in again. So we'll wait for him. We're patient here. There you are. Let's try again. Technology is fantastic. Somebody says when it works. Let's see here. Hmm. So, is it your sense that we must, as we encourage, we work in the space of education and training,
Yeah.
but we must begin to think of those that we are strengthening, or supporting, and uplifting as individuals who have the capacity in themselves to do things based on the fact that they view themselves, they are the farmers,
Yeah.
they are the business
Yeah.
people. That's crucial.
Yeah, yeah, because they are the ones that are going to do it and live through it, you know.
Yeah,
And that's very, very powerful.
right.
And we as a educators or supporting or whatever,
Mm.
we got to set the ground rules because they want to train or learn for real too.
Mm.
You know what I mean? They
Absolutely.
want this. So we got to tell them the right stuff so they can take it further.
Right.
If we don't tell the real deal or respect them
Mm.
as a farmer, it won't work. It won't work, you know?
You're absolutely right. And I think that one of the crucial things in that regard is that you begin to think of upliftment as partnership,
Yeah,
not that somebody is that you cannot do without that person. You can do
exactly.
things on your own,
Yeah.
but you get these partners around with you. Luvo, are you with us, sir?
Yes, yes,
Uh,
back now.
yeah,
I think I'm back now.
yes, yes, you are
My
back.
network connection, unfortunately, is not
Let's see.
that great, I
No, no,
think. But
don't
I'm
make
back.
apologies for those connections. They are what they are. We do our best. Well, good to have you with us this evening.
Yeah, I'm happy to happy to be a guest.
Thank you.
Thank
Good to
you.
meet you. It's
Yeah,
exciting.
Luvo Gugwana, I have met in September last year when we were in Durban for that conference on urban agriculture, and he is followed up by staying in contact. So I've really appreciated that. He's got more hair than I have, so I thought
Ah,
maybe followed up because you wanted to help me uh,
yes.
with my needs
You
there.
get some.
Anyway, Luvo, tell us a little bit about yourself, sir. What is it that gives you great joy? What gets you up in the morning?
Yeah. Okay. My name is Luvo. From South Africa. I'm based in the province of KwaZulu Natal in South Africa. So I'm a young farmer. So I founded a company known as Green Arch Innovations. Actually, that's really what keeps me up in the morning. So our company focuses on what I'm quite passionate about, which is entrepreneurship for rural communities, and also how can we make agriculture more climate adaptive, and also how can we make it more attractive for young people to participate in. So really, that's really what keeps me up in the morning. As we're speaking right now, I mean, close to East London. So the name of the area is Nkala. So we establishing an aquaponics system for a school in the rural area, so for them to learn on how to start integrating their own knowledge into advanced farming systems. So
Wow.
what really keeps me awake is to focusing on advanced capacity building and training in agriculture, and also enabling people to create sustainable enterprises in agriculture.
Fantastic.
Nice.
And you've been doing this for a long while, or if I remember, 8 to 10
Yes,
years. Am I correct? Or
we've been doing it for over 10 years now.
hmm.
In the company, working with communities in capacity building and training, and introducing advanced farming systems emanating from aquaponic systems, hydroponic systems,
Hmm.
but more important to how can we create a viable SMMEs for our communities. So
Got it.
we've been doing it for quite some time, but we always open for learning, collaboration, especially adopting from enterprises who've been doing it for more than we've been in the industry.
Sorry for that. Do you sense, I'm not so sure if you heard myself and Sven speaking a little bit earlier about how communities that are considered to be not just rural, but they are labeled as under-resourced communities. It's a term I utterly resent. So for me, it's high-stake communities
Yeah.
because if you don't do anything there,
Ah.
it affects everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's got different needs. We all have needs, but the notion of an under-resourced community, describing it like that, Luvo, have you found and seen a great deal of strength in these communities where you work?
Absolutely, absolutely. Man, I mean, if I could reference my stay here in Thailand, Eastern Cape right now,
Mm,
I think our model, what we've worked with, I've only came down with two of my guys in my team, and we designing an aquaponics system from scratch. So what I've done is I've sourced people from the community. We sourcing labor from the community, creating jobs for the community. I mean, the guys who are doing welding are from the community. The guys that are helping us to do the plumbing on our fish tanks and hydroponics side are from the community. I mean, we can find resourceful people from these communities, and I think one of the key things that I've realized in working with rural areas is the interest. I mean, people have vested interest in our projects and they've vested interest in themselves as well because they're willing to learn, they're willing to be capacitated. And that's one thing you can ask for people because their skin in the game is the interest in the project and then also wanting to see this project changing their own lives. So definitely there is resourcefulness from these communities and individuals that we work with. I mean, here I don't know anyone, but already I've worked with 10 people because they saw us working, they're
right.
willing to be part of it, and they're willing to be profiled. That's I think that's we can't ask for more than just that because we can see interest from the community itself.
What harm do you think does it do when we describe these communities as under-resourced?
I mean, for me, actually, that's the correct word, under resourced, because the truth is they are quite under resourced. I mean, look at the network connectivity. I mean, it's very the network reception this side is very bad
Mm,
compared to the urban areas where I come from. I think it's one of the things that need to be outlined. I think we're finding the right way to define it because they are really under resourced. I mean, the road infrastructure to get here. I mean, we're trying to navigate to find the school through our baki because big trucks cannot really access the place because of the infrastructure deficits. So I think the word under resourced, I think it will go to the right hearts, it will touch the right people because the people that keep hearing that word that this is an under resourced community, I mean, someone might be intrigued and then say, I really want to be part of changing the under resourced community to become a resourced community.
and I would agree with you there. The kind of infrastructure maybe that you don't have. What about people's character? I mean, I think you were talking about skin in the game, and you were talking about the fact that you, with this new project and where you are in this new community, you have involved people with knowledge and skills in that area, right? And that knowledge and that skills and that experience, that's certainly people who are resourceful, I would say, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting one
Yeah.
because um, what we've done, because when we work with communities, we always want to do our stakeholder engagement through the thorough processes. Meaning, some of the guys that are working with us right now, they've done no skills around plumbing. So we had planned that before we even come here, we're gonna recruit people
Yeah.
from the community, working with the right stakeholders. So they've given us the people, the list that
Mm.
we've worked with, and then they provided training with them, like tool handling trainings,
Yeah.
like a crash course in plumbing, because what you're doing is not really intensive, so that they can understand the basics of it.
Mm.
So it means before we even recruited them, they have to go through a capacity building process where they learn
Mm.
about basic health and safety skills,
Right.
basic plumbing skills before we recruit them
Mm.
to work with us in setting up the project. So in that way, we're able to provide a profile of this employee to say this is where we've taken them, this is what they've gone through the training, and then you currently employ them for 3 months while you're completing the project. So we provide capacity building and then we employ them. So where we found them, that we don't really leave them where we found them because they are capacitated
Oh,
through
that's magical.
different programs in the company. Yes.
Mm, that's great.
Yeah, so the key, what he's
Yeah.
saying, it's so interesting to hear. So it's just how you think of under resourced. For him,
Mm,
that's the correct description.
right.
Otherwise, you wouldn't pay attention. So
That's right.
it's like your opinion of under
Mm,
resourced. Well, he's
yeah.
working that. No, no, no. Let's be real. This is what it is,
Yeah.
and then we need under resourced.
Yeah.
The same as he said with the under resourceful people. He
Mm,
need to do the basic training. If you set the wrong people in the wrong phase,
yeah.
you jeopardize everything.
Yeah.
So that's so cool. Like we can ask this question about these real labels and topics, and we get the answer right here.
Yeah.
No, no, it's all good. Don't worry about
Oh,
the
absolutely.
labeling. Under research, that's what it is. But you need these steps, and then you can make the transition. He
Mm,
proves the case is here.
yeah.
Even in everything, it's attention to detail with fair, objective, real descriptions.
Absolutely.
That's amazing because then you don't take nothing for granted. Maybe like somebody we like, wow, that word doesn't sound right, so you want to change it and you tweak it and tweak it and you lose everything.
Yeah.
You see how easy
You
it
can
is?
slice the thing
You
so
can
thin.
slice
Yeah.
it, and he's just no, no, no. If we weren't labeled as it is, he'd be in danger. Maybe he wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
He'd get the few people wrong, and it'd be, a catastrophe.
Yeah.
Or the people are looking for under resource. We're in the business of helping under resource
Yeah.
areas, and these areas is an opportunity for his business. Otherwise, he had no business.
Absolutely.
So it's amazing to hear. You know what I mean? The power in the word and the labeling, and don't be afraid.
Absolutely.
Just we gotta okay. Are we on the same level with every label? And now, boom, he gives us everything, and it's even better. You know what I mean? Stronger.
How does it resonate with you what Sven just said, Luvo?
It really like resonates with me 100%, because I think once we get the labeling right, absolutely, it will touch the right people. I mean, we have to provide the right description of communities.
Yeah.
Hence, the demographics are there to prove it. I
Mm,
mean, if you look at the demographics of the areas that we work with, they really prove that they actually under-resourced communities, and we trying to transition them as well from being under-resourced to be resourced communities through improving the infrastructure, through capacity building and training people
mm,
so that they can support their own livelihoods. So it's 100% resonates with me, and it's really it needs a proper model to really move through that transition to
mm.
empower these communities.
I'm glad you raised the issue of a proper model because
Yeah.
it provides this. It needs to have an approach or a model, as you describe it, that both value what people have, but also acknowledge what they need,
Yeah.
so that there may be some things that are wrong, but there are also some things that are strong. In the
And it's
word,
even there.
yeah,
You can't use the word wrong. That's an
that's
opinion.
true.
We don't have an agreement here, Theo.
Mm,
For him, it's an opportunity.
mm,
So it's just the level of the roads are bad. It's not right or wrong. It's like
sure.
you know what I mean.
Mm,
It's not even agreements on those labels. So from wrong from who? Then you got
yeah,
to define that, and
yeah.
we don't even have to define good or bad.
Mm,
Just resource, road, safety. His model works. So
mm.
you see, that's kind of cool
I hear
learning.
you.
You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? So that label wrong is an opinion of something
Mm,
for who? Who?
yeah, yeah.
And or you know what I mean? It's
I
easy.
absolutely.
So
I
it's
can.
kind of cool. Like, do we have an agreement? And no, okay. It's amazing to research
Mm,
everything, and
mm.
it's so powerful how we use the words.
Yeah.
And those it's not right or wrong. No, no, no. It's different parameters, and these models needs to be corrected.
Mm,
If we start labeling them a little like, we should not to take that step, and it's so cool. We just need to have the focus on we got to move these unresourceful communities or people up here, and then we go for the next, and
absolutely.
then we leave them to the next set, and that's all winnings.
And be saluted for that, Luva, for
Yeah.
getting things done.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I think.
So clear in the model and perspective.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's probably one of the strengths that you bring into a new community when you see a new need, is that you have a record of having gotten things done.
Yeah.
Has that always been a sort of a driver for you? We get out and get things done instead of talking about getting things done?
I think really for me, it has came with a lot of learning,
Yeah.
with a lot of collaboration. I mean, to work with people who've really been in the journey that I'm trying to traverse.
Mm.
So it has really, really helped. And I think the passion that I have is really another driving point because you're able to hit the milestones, get the deliverables done, because you're really passionate about this. And then also what helps me as well is I come from rural areas, just that I've been
Yourself.
really
Right.
privileged to study, get
Mm.
qualifications. But now when I go back to integrate back to my communities, it's a bit easy because I understand the dynamics. So
Mm.
I'm not only putting myself into the issues, I'm really part of them. I'm from the
Ah,
communities as well.
yeah.
So it really, really helps because it comes from a perspective of understanding the demographics of where I come from,
Mm.
and also the experience of the stakeholders that I work with, and then also and the number of projects that we've been working with. That accumulative experience that we've got from those projects, it
Yeah.
really helps us to become more better to the upcoming or to the next projects. So that's really what has really helped us. And then also, if you're being trusted by your stakeholders at a really young age, it kind of helps you as well to make sure you don't disappoint because you kind of have a prone to prove you're young, but you need to deliver. So
Mm.
that's really what has been pushing me as well because of really trying to make sure that we're protecting the integrity of our name and our company,
Yeah.
and also with the agreement with the stakeholders. I mean, the project that you're doing now, the stakeholders really said out loud that they've never done such a thing before, but
Okay.
they really want to do a pilot program with us. And then we clearly stated out this is our milestones. They
Mm.
can give us their timelines, and every time they come to see the timelines, they're really happy to see what they've achieved because we want to make sure we deliver our timelines based on what we've agreed upon, even exceeding that. So I think the experience on the projects, the stakeholders we have, and relationships we have, they've been a driving point for us to be hitting the milestones.
Mm. It sounds like you've got a real good sense of exactly what the business model is and where you want to go. What would you say is the kind of advice that you would give for younger aspirant agribusiness entrepreneurs?
I think one of the key things that I learned quite later on in business
Mm.
is to really approach people who've done what you're trying to do.
Mm.
I mean, it's very important.
Mm.
I think for us, we when we started our enterprise, we had invested at least a year in research and development. I mean, it's a lot of time to invest in trying to really to crack the model. We worked with stakeholders that have been in the industry for some time.
Mm.
We looked for people who've already done what you're trying to do successfully, even if it's from different industries, because
Right.
the business principles sometimes they're quite similar.
Mm.
So just to get people experience who can really advise, I mean, it's very important because they always say that if you ask for advice, you get money. If you ask for money, you get advice. So that has been proven true for me because
Yeah.
all that we've been looking for is to get that resourcefulness in terms of advice and knowledge in the industries. But what it had done for us was to really solidify our profile to
Yeah.
a point that we worked with really big stakeholders who invested money
Mm.
into our project. So look for right mentors, industry expertise,
Yeah.
and also try to learn more knowledge. But
Mm.
definitely, you'll have more opportunities from that because no one wants to work with enterprises or individuals or entrepreneurs with no knowledge and information. So the key thing
Mm.
is the knowledge and information. Once you have that, you're able to navigate
Mm.
through the enterprise, securing funds like we've done as well. But it all comes with experience and the right mentors and experience in the industry. Hence, we really approached your enterprise to see can we see some synergies because we're looking for experience, which is very important. You've
Mm.
already been in the industry, followed, done research on your enterprise, what you've done on the ground, and it really resonates with us. And it's where we want to go as well. But to collaborate with the right stakeholders who have vested interest in what we're trying to do, that's the
Mm.
right approach.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
What a commendable way to start, I think, Sven.
Yeah.
Let's focus on finding out what is happening in this industry instead of just jumping into it.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of people think, of course, you should
Yeah.
have an approach, but that Luvo has actually done that
Yeah.
is a commendable approach.
Yeah, it's amazing, and that gives the leverage further on. When he talks about it, it's real, and then you get to take him out and show that again. So
Yeah.
it multiplies. follow this model that works, and focus on those, that already works. And he has a model and a system. And what we said before, it's all business. So it's these models of business is applicable everywhere. It's global.
Yeah.
So it's not unique. It's just in this area, this is the object, this is the things, look for system models and proven success. It's for everything.
Yeah.
So, and that's just putting different names and regions and goals and industries, but it's the same approach. And that's good. That's for everybody,
Yeah, fantastic.
It's amazing.
Fantastic approach.
Yeah.
For those of you who have just tuned in, you are with us here in Stockholm, but we're not the only folks in this conversation. We are joined by Luvo Gugwana. He's from the eastern part of South Africa. He's currently in the Eastern Cape, but he's originally from a region called KwaZulu-Natal. I have frequented it quite a lot, actually, during my life. Durban on the East Coast. It's a beautiful part of the world. And for those of you who have just joined us, sometimes I've not even checked, but sometimes I ask people, if you have a question, you're more than welcome to on YouTube or LinkedIn. I think there's a lot of folks who sort of join us on LinkedIn, and you're more than welcome. If you want to pop a question, I'll have a look at that just now. And for those of you who want to help us, we're talking about developing and creating partnerships. You're more than welcome to follow this link that you see on your screen at the moment and find a way to support what we're doing. We're specifically interested in this particular point. We talk about finding resources, is to at least locate and position 3, maybe 4 agro-processing units that we can deploy in different parts of South Africa. And so if you really would love to help us there, you are more than welcome to do exactly that. We'll leave this on the screen there just for a few seconds there.
It would be interesting to ask that question. What would the benefit on the ground from Leon?
Yeah, I would.
To turn that around.
That's good.
What's the impact? What's the result?
Yeah. We'll check that in with Luvo too.
Yeah, do it right off. So it's just like, wow, what does this mean? You know what I mean? It's just asking for something. No. You tell what's the dream. Explain how it will look. When it's all there. What's the impact? What's the change? What will it help you? You know what I mean?
We'll throw that at you just now, Luvo.
Yeah.
Let's just have a little listen in there to Andre de Lang, the man is very close to you.
Yeah.
No one else can compare to you. Oh, you've been through it all, yet you haven't lost all your strength inside. I wear mama, I wear mama, I wear mama. See, I cool boy. I wear mama, I wear mama, I wear mama. See, I cool bingele. Mama, where we celebrate our freedom around the world. People sing your praise. Give all thanks to the Father in heaven. Here's the key, our ability. Oh, you've been through it all, yet you haven't lost all your strength. I wear mama, I wear mama, I wear mama. See, I cool bonga. I wear mama, I wear mama, I wear mama. See, I cool bingele.
You should, really.
We are back, and thank you so very, very much for spending your time with us. My name is Theophilus van Rensburg-Linster, and in the studio here with me in Stockholm is none other than... so we have almost lost somebody here. Hold it, let me just get him back. Can't lose the man. There he is, he's back. In the studio with me is Sven Isaksson, but we're also joined by Luvo Gugwana. He's sitting in sunny South Africa. But with just a warning to him, our time for sun will come and your time for cold will come. It's just a matter of time. So once again, Luvo, thank you so very, very much for joining us and spending time here with us. I'm not so sure if you saw last time when we were talking through this resource that we think we should be putting into the hands of communities that would really strengthen a different kind of learning experience where you are taking or transforming, as it say, a given um, product and you're changing it into something different based on a raw material or raw product you have, whether it's in meat or whether it is even in animal feed or whether it is in fruit and vegetables. So in the question you wanted to throw at Luvo is, what does he think about this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because Louis is on the ground and it's all he knows
Mm.
the system and the models and where he want to go. So when he's asking or we are wanted to provide, like, what's the impact in this phase? Now you're saying this container, what will it mean in reality for you to reach your goal? How much will it help? Like, you know what I mean? Because he's having that system. What will it bring in the end and the effects?
Good question
You
there.
know, instead of we're asking for this, but we want to see like
Is
best
this
person for you. You know,
right?
how will it transform?
Yeah.
How effective and so for what's the impact? You know,
Two big questions. How will it transform? What will be the impact there
or
for
is there
you?
another thing that is more valuable? So now you do your list. It's like, yeah, for me, from I have these plans. We will move from here to here.
Yeah.
If you do this thing, we put in the container, or is it other things you need to move? You know what I mean?
Got it.
That's what we're
Yeah.
approaching. You know, and you're the best person to tell us,
We're listening
and then
now.
we will help you to get the containers. Yeah,
Yes.
or the right
Um,
stuff. You know.
Yeah.
yeah, you know the very interesting thing that I'm realizing now is because we actually wanted to get a partner for this system. So in our terms, we call it a modular pack house. So a modular pack house in our minds or in our model, what we had thought of, we were thinking of a modular container that is
Mm.
solar powered unit that is going to be a standalone container to be refurbished to be turned into a cooler
Yeah.
and also a processing container.
Mm.
And it's quite interesting that in our conversation today, we're talking about that.
Mm.
I mean, they always say that when you are listening, the universe is always listening.
Ah.
I mean, that's the reality of it right now. So such a model, it will be really impactful, especially in rural communities that we are working with. I mean, one of the biggest challenges that we identified in working with enterprise in rural areas, one is we need a centralized cooler, a centralized pack house, meaning that we have these different small SMEs that are supported by this centralized cooler or pack house, meaning they'll bring their products
Yeah.
and add value on them. So when add value, it's packaging, adding value, the agro-processing, turning a raw primary product to a secondary product.
Mm.
That's add value, and then also you improving the shelf life. I mean, we work with a lot of retailers who want products that are coming to an accredited pack house, and I'm looking at this cooler or this agro-processing container already. By how it looks, it really meets the health and safety standards.
Mm.
And this is the kind of containers that you need to be put in central points in communities
Mm.
that will support small scale farmers, because
Yeah.
this is fortunately something that we've been trying to conceptualize, and it really touches me to really see that today we're speaking about something that we've been really seeing how we can work around it. I mean, for me, I already bought a container that we just need to put in fittings for it, and when I
Okay.
see and even take a screenshot of it, so this would not only impact small scale farmers to realize revenue from adding value to the products, it means that to get compliance. Because now, if I go to a spa in South Africa to say, we have these small scale farmers, 10 of them in this community, they're packing their products in this pack house, they'll come see the pack house, they'll be happy with the health and safety compliance of it, meaning
Mm.
that now that container will support enterprises within its radius. And
Yeah.
I mean, if we can have 5 of these systems in different communities, the ones that already work with, we're supporting over 50 entrepreneurs within these communities with compliance, and then also meaning that they're entering into new markets that they were unable to tap into because of not having a pack house, not being able to process. I mean, this would be a great start point
Mm.
to realize opening up of new markets for these enterprises, and then also add value in terms of training in agro processing. For me, I think I'd be really happy to see this program on the ground. And already we have KPIs on how this can help communities. Already I can see how it can help enterprises that you already work with, and also in different communities that we haven't even went to. But this is definitely something that will
That could work with.
change people's lives,
Mm.
and especially in rural areas, because such infrastructure is a dire need.
Mm.
Yeah. And on the flip side, now we're getting into that. Well, what's the pain, or what's if you don't get it? How
Yeah.
will it feel? How far away will you be? Feel the pain. If we don't get it, we
Okay.
are stuck 3 more years.
Okay.
Or
So
you understand,
okay.
like,
So
or is there
yeah.
another
So
area that might get the container, or you know what I mean? The pain of 3 more years,
let,
or
let, let me make an example.
yeah.
Let me make an example. One of the it's a practical example.
Mm.
So one of the farmers that we work with, including ourselves. So one thing that we realize, there's quite a number of food wastage at the farms, and
Mm.
what really attributes to that food wastage at different farms is not having proper cooling systems or
Mm.
refrigerators.
Mm.
So already we're speaking about the pain that is already affecting farmers, including ourselves, because
Mm,
it took us a while to even get to a point where we're buying a container, trying to put fittings into it. So we're speaking about the program, or a dire problem that is already affecting small scale
mm-hmm.
farmers, which losing their crops
Yeah.
because they don't really have a cooling system. That's one. And then
Wow.
also, like for us, for an example, we wanted to restaurants within our radius. But now the problem that we have, can only harvest the fish same time, put it
Mm.
on ice, and then shift it immediately.
Mm.
So I understand the logistics where you have to catch the fish fresh, you have to gut the fish and then send it to the market immediately, because you don't have proper facilities where you can freeze it, pack it,
Mm,
and then shift it. So
Mm.
already what something we called opportunity cost.
mm.
So every day I'm doing that, I'm losing an opportunity to add value into a product and then to realize more profits from it.
That's
That's
pain
already what I,
Yeah,
right
that's
there.
yeah,
pain, because we are, what you imagine, teaching people to grow crops that
Right.
goes to waste right away.
Ah.
What's the point? So
absolutely.
it's better
Yeah.
That's the
wait.
point.
Like that's what you want to get to.
Yeah.
You so how and that's very unmotivational. Like, there's a lot of work done for growing, but it needs to be synced. So that's like major pain here for
Mm.
this container. It's not an add-on. It's
It's
key.
almost it's key. It's
It's
almost
key. It's a
yeah.
must. So because otherwise, the program of educating farmers will be diluted if they see they're growing something getting thrown out here,
Yeah.
and the industry and everybody too, as they advance, it's like no compliant, no compliant. You know what I mean? And suddenly everybody will be disencouraged and losing time.
Mm.
So this is very, very important. It should be key, and it's could be described like that too. Like, okay, really, this is how it looks now here.
Yeah.
So stop training people to grow stuff and wait until you get the containers. It should almost be an alert,
It should almost also or happen at the same time.
Yeah, it's not just okay, we're doing good and we can do better. No, we're already out of sync. It's leaking over here,
Yeah.
and we're pouring on the water.
Yeah.
And people be like, why? So it's kind of very cool or interesting or crucial. That's the key in description of moving ahead.
I like the way that she said it's cool.
Yeah.
Cooling.
Cooling too,
Yeah.
and and
Yeah,
then and
cool.
in the way you
Yeah.
speak of in the thing of you want to do things right, and we don't want to be part of wasting resources and food
No,
too.
absolutely
You
not.
can't. It's like if you have areas that are already under resourced where there's a need, you don't want to throw away the
Oh
stuff.
no, absolutely.
You know what
that's
I mean?
That's a real.
So it's out of sync, and it's like it's like boom here. We should be helping you to get that, and just clarifying the description. That's our job,
Yeah.
to listen to you and put on the alerts.
Yeah. And it's in fact something that we want to do a lot more for the
Yeah.
likes of you. It's one of the things that we are working on quite a lot at the moment. We know it can be really hard. I mean, we have to salute you, Luvo, for what you have done. You've basically put down a track. You have put a locomotive on it. You've put wagons on it, and this thing is moving. And so that initiative is really, really commendable. And we have a great deal of appreciation for the value that can come through something that you mentioned earlier, that mentorship, right? Where you can bounce off ideas. And that thing needs to continue because there are major, major parts of pain, as you identified and as
Yeah.
Sven has alluded to. that's very, very valuable to begin to think through. There's one system deployed in the Western Cape, and it is, you can go see it in action and see it working if that opportunity comes. But I'm going to be in the country in 4 weeks, and so the two of us can stay in touch as to how we can support and strengthen that particular need that exists there. So, Sven, on the idea of continuously placing ourselves in a space where we can support initiatives like that Luvo's managing on the ground. One of the things he's mentioned, he talked about fish, and they do aquaponics. They do fish farming.
Yeah.
This is not easy work. This is hard work, because I've seen some solutions in these rural areas, and they're doing an incredible job. But there's such a lot that depends on sequences in the process that are connected to time. That if you don't get it right,
you lose it.
The loss could be really, really big.
And I think it's important, because you live it, but to visualize it so we can show it too.
Yeah.
You know, like when you describe it, we have this dialogue, it's very clear, but imagine showing that in photos. Or, you know what I mean? You need to, so then we can discuss on the same terms, you know?
I want us to have a conversation B. So I think we should have you back here next week.
Yeah.
And
I'd love that. I'd love that.
And I think we want to talk about you actually making a specific presentation that has these images and maybe video, and so where we can look through some of the specifics that you're dealing with. You've sent some information to me. The sense is that let's take this as the first step. That next step, I think, for audiences, especially listening in, would be a lot more meaningful, I think.
Yeah, and it's cool because we already identify the problems, not all the problems, no, the things we want to accomplish.
Yeah.
So we all imagine if you have something like we describe that is wrong or error, but no, we have a model. We are focused on what to close the gaps on.
Absolutely.
So we got the sights and get the wins.
Yeah.
And that's, in some projects you do things, but you don't really know. Here is straight on identification, because he's the expert, and you can visualize it and then close those gaps, and then you have another model that will go faster and multiply. So that's cool for everybody. Like, wow, it's real solutions we can be part of and making together.
Fantastic.
It's the wins. Like we say, you have to celebrate everything you can accomplish, because we take it for granted, but some people feel they don't have an impact on anything, and it could be in everywhere. You know what I mean? People with money, they don't know what to do. Like, I have this, but no, really, or not. Here's just boom, it's dialed down here.
Yeah.
A major impact and big wins that can help so much, because it's real and tangible and visualized. It's super powerful, this story.
I'm glad we recorded that line that you just said, because
Yeah.
but it is major. So
It is.
Yeah, it is absolutely that. And so we'll be back, for those of you who are listening in next week, when we sort of listen again to that good old professor from the East Coast in South Africa. Luvo, thank you so very, very much for sharing and giving us of your time, and for being such an inspiration in what you have achieved already.
Yeah.
So thank you. Thank you for sharing this time with us, and we'll stay in touch so we can connect again next week.
No, thank you very much for hosting me as well. Looking forward for our next engagement, and hopefully we'll be able to really showcase the work that we've been doing in different communities, with opportunity for the audience as well to visualize and see all the different projects.
Yeah.
And also,
Sure, we can share that. We want to be clear, however, that this is about you, and what you have done. So next week we continue that, because we think that's important for people to know. And if there's a tangible way how we can support and strengthen what happens, then we want to be part of that and support and help make that happen for you in your space. It's great to know what we are doing. I also think it's important that what we are doing adds value to what you are doing. So it's not just, we know each other on a superficial level, but that it makes real impact. So thank you very, very much for your time, and have a good rest of your evening.
Yeah. Thank you. It's our pleasure.
Yeah.
Pleasure. Awesome.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Have a great evening as well.
Thank you,
Bye.
Luvo. That was very, very special for those of you who've listened in. We were joined by Luvo all the way from the Eastern Cape there, and we were very, very honored to learn a great deal from what he's doing. And so, Sven,
Yeah.
chat to you again next week.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. For those of you who are still listening in, thank you very, very much. And on the screen at the moment, you'll see a quick response code that will take you to an opportunity to support. Maybe you could find a way to invest in this particular container that we would love to put right into the hands of a young man who's in the middle of the trenches. And if you so want to do that, you are more than welcome to go to that spot and support it. Thank you.
I think we should add people reaching out, farmers and people like Luvo. Reach out to us directly.
Yeah.
If you, to have a discussion.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, even more important.
Thank
like,
you. That's a really good
you know,
point.
like bring questions and we'll get to it. You know,
Yeah.
we'd love to bounce ideas and feedback and like this. You know, get in a dialogue how we can assist or
I like that.
you
That's
know what
very
I mean? I
important
think
for
that's the
those of
key.
you
Yeah.
who are out there, young farmers, just
Tell
like
us.
Luvo. Speak to us, get in touch with us, find a way to connect, so that we can
help
strengthen.
them. Yeah, we will give them a venue
yeah,
to talk.
a place and a space to bounce
yeah, they need
things
to be
off.
heard
Yeah,
at the same time, and this was the best examples possible. You know, talk to the
Wonderful.
farmers, you know, and they
Yeah.
will tell us, and we will help them on the way.
absolutely. Thank you once again. You take good care. We'll see you all back next Wednesday, same time, same place.